Hey y'all, it's Happy Go. I'm Hannah, and this is where I make happy things and try to help you live a happy, creative life. This video is the first in a series where I will talk about how to sell your art at conventions or pop culture events to try to demystify it, so hopefully it's not intimidating to anyone who has not sold their art at a convention before. In this video, I'm going to cover three things: the application process, what the event itself is like, and then the wrap-up of the event. First, the application. Whatever convention you're looking at applying will probably have a website or a social media account, and leading up to the event, they will have open applications for Artist Alley. Bigger events will also have applications for vendors or artists, and if you are a smaller or independent artist like me, you're going to want to apply for Artist Alley. The vendor hall, those booths are more so for official merch or larger companies or dealers who need more space. The application process is basically how you are applying to rent a booth space. So there will be a description of what the booth includes, such as a table, 2 chairs, 2 badges to get into the event, sometimes a trash can, sometimes a backdrop. That does vary by event. They will also require either pictures or descriptions of your work or what you plan to sell. Sometimes they'll ask for a portfolio link or website link. They will also often ask for a picture of what your display usually looks like, but if it's your first convention, they'll usually accept a mock-up of what you plan for your table to look like. And then, of course, there will be a booth fee listed, which you would be charged upon acceptance to the event. Leading up to the event itself, there are a number of things that you're going to want to do to prepare and also to bring with you, but I'll cover that in another video. So what is the convention itself like? There will be a designated time for you to set up your booth, which is usually the day before and the morning of. You'll get there early, you'll have all of your merchandise packaged nicely. There will be some sort of check-in booth. All of the information about setting up will either be provided to you by email from the convention staff or some information you might get in person, like I've gotten folders before upon getting to the event, and then there was information within that. At pretty much any convention, you'll be provided with badges, usually to be worn on a lanyard, that will allow you to get in and out of the event. It's very important that you don't misplace those badges. I recommend that every day of the event, you get there early, before the floor opens to attendees, so you have time to gather your thoughts or adjust your table setup. And once you're set up, each day of the convention will feel pretty similar. You'll get there, you'll be set up, the floor will open to attendees, and then throughout the day, as people are walking around the convention floor, your art may catch their eye, and they may stop and look at your table. You might make a connection, maybe they're interested in purchasing something from your table, maybe not, and then they'll move on, and that'll happen again and again throughout the day. And then the floor will close to attendees and you'll get to go home and come back again the next day to do it all again. In my experience, the bigger the convention, the louder it is. I tend to get overstimulated with a lot of noise, so I don't usually, at least at bigger conventions, I don't usually read or anything, just because there's so much going on. Even when there's no one at my table, it feels like there's so much going on. There will probably be days and shows that are really slow. So 2 major recommendations of mine are: 1, you should always have a booth partner when selling at an Artist Alley. Not only is that important for setting up the table, but also having someone with you to support you. It makes it so that you can take breaks, you can alternate taking breaks. If it's really busy, then that also helps to have someone else with you to be able to interact with people. Or if it's really slow, you have someone with you to talk to. It also doesn't hurt to bring a book or something for conventions that do get really slow. I've even known vendors to draw when it's slow. My second big recommendation for the event itself is to have food and water with you. This is super important. It's important to always stay hydrated. Some shows will have food vendors or a food court, which is great if you and your table buddy can take turns going and getting food. But if it's too busy for that, it's nice. I usually have like a cooler bag with me at my table packed with sandwiches and snacks and stuff that I just have access to throughout the day. And then, of course, water. Always have water with you. The end of the event itself, there will be a designated time after the convention has closed to attendees for all of the vendors and artists to pack up their stuff and go home. This also might be loud, so keep that in mind, that there are a lot of people who have been working really hard for the past few days and are ready to go home and rest. A couple general things to know about selling at a convention. If you have questions about where to go or what to do, do not hesitate to ask convention staff. Leading up to the event, you can probably ask questions over email, but for bigger conventions, as it gets closer to the event, they may be too busy to answer right away. So you can also ask questions in person or ask artists you know that have either sold at this convention before or are gonna be there. You can talk to them too. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Another important thing to know is that there are a lot of variables that go into determining if a convention is successful or not, like the size of the convention, the specific year attendance for that show may vary. One show may be busy all day, every day, and loud and full of people at your table, but other shows may be slow and you don't sell a lot or even make back your booth fee. It's important to remember that the time and effort and work you put into this show is a major accomplishment. Even if this show was not a financial success, don't sell yourself short. You gave your all, you did all you could, it's not your fault, and now you're ready to move on to the next event. I plan on covering other topics related to selling out at conventions, including what I think you should bring with you to a convention. But if you have any specific questions about selling at Artist Alley, don't be afraid to drop a comment. And that'll be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you get notifications whenever I upload or go live. And I will see you next time. Bye! I also want to give a shout out to my supporters on Ko-fi. I really, really appreciate it. You are helping to make this possible.